Greetings, everyone in the Twitter universe, Facebook universe, social media universe. Greeting everyone. This is U.S. presidential candidate Jawad Hashim Hakeem 2020. I'm breaking into your airways for today because we want to discuss whether Andrew Yang, the current spokesperson of Universal Basic Income, right now he's practically the face of Universal Basic Income throughout the world, whether Andrew Yang 2020 will become Bernie Sanders 2016. So we have entitled the video that because it's provocative, but the main thing is what we want to discuss is whether universal basic income should just be primarily linked to whether the government is going to dole out another form of welfare. And what we are doing with the United People Party, basically a social capitalist united people's organization worldwide of global citizens that I've practically founded because it makes sense, number one. And number two is as a U.S. presidential candidate hailing from Zion, Illinois, I espouse that we have to find a trigger to spark local economic development and treat the citizen as the asset. But the key thing here, and what makes this particular video interesting, is because we're creating a debate that makes America think. Jawad Hashim Hakeem 2020 supports Andrew Yang as the Democrat or the Democratic nominee. So what we're going to do is we're going to make contact with every university in the United States, as well as contact through our staff, every educational institution within America, because we think this is a grand debate. This is a grand debate to make America think harder. That is not just going to be a Trump reel of unearned media just because he dominates the news cycle. What we're saying is we are the people. And civic engagement right now is thirsting to learn more about the possibilities of creating utopia. And we have to go all the way and begin saying it because it's more exciting that way, actually, in marketing. But for the fact that I'm from Zion, Illinois, I'm going to speak as Alexander Dowie spoke, because it's true. We need social innovation and inclusive civic participation. And I learned that by being a student of the Obama White House Office of Social Innovation and Civic Participation in 2009, February 2009. Please, you can Wikipedia it. So what we're saying is that there is a way to lift economies of scale through America and even export the same system throughout the world, but it's going to require a united response from we the people. So we the people can engage in civic mastery by earning our way to universal basic income through micro savage entrepreneurship. So Savage Micro Entrepreneur says this, that is it possible that what we call the criminal has been failed by society? That really we have someone who's prepared to do anything they have to do to feed their family, but if they're not injuring anyone and it's just simple retail theft, some people have very cunning ways to find opportunities to do retail theft. So we're saying at the end of the day, the person is looking for monopoly money. Everyone is craving monopoly money. And why introduce us as children to the game Monopoly, where I enter the board and I say, I have nothing. I go to the banker and I say, I have nothing. And this is the game of Monopoly. This is coming from U.S. presidential candidate Jawad Hashim Hakeem 2020. I am actually going to be an option if you choose to hire me as the chief executive or the architect of a new social beginning, not just for America, but of the world. I'm not looking for progressive or incremental change. This is now time for transformative change. And we agree with Yang, YANG 2020.com. We are also with www.GLOLAUD, GLOLAUD.org. We want to participate in a new post-industrial society, post-capitalistic society, where power has been democratized to the people. We're holding it in our hands. I'm using it right now to record. This is the umbrella handle of United People Party's presidential symbol, our campaign symbol of the triumph. It's an umbrella with the eagle on top, but the handle is functional. It's the actual smartphones that we hold globally. And we want to aggregate our global power, engaging in civic mastery, putting our own skin in the game, paying into becoming responsible as director of our own upward mobility. You have to make the client, the citizen, the one who needs. Innovation is born out of necessity, is it not? So you take the recipient of the program for help or aid and assist, the one who's to receive that, instead of universal basic income coming from the government, it can actually be generated to allow the recipient to own their own universal basic income, and we'll be able to subsidize the rest, to make it a whole package where someone can be able to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. So therefore, universal basic income cannot be government run, number one. Number two, it cannot be government financed. Number three, we believe in the potential of every human being to ink themselves, to get their own website, to go to a bank, to get their own loans, to build up their own credit score. We want to build everyone up to one standard. And that standard globally should be $5,000 a month. And we can break through the $1,000 a month ceiling if we don't make it government tax run and tax funded. This is financial freedom. You have to make the per capita unit, the citizen around the world, a global citizen. You have to give the global citizen purchasing power, but they have to take ownership of it. No different than when FDR began hiring everyone. He hired everyone with the CCC Corps and all these things, the Works Progress Administration, because no one was going to take welfare at that proud time in our history. So he used the fact that he can hire you as an employee to be able to give you the benefits that he was going to give you anyway, but it has something different psychologically than welfare. Welfare, reverse it, is farewell. We want fair work, so we work fair. And work fair is a gig economy where everyone is more like a subcontract, but now we're giving employee benefits. If you give employee benefits, which we call universal Social Security, which makes sure we have subsidized housing, subsidized transportation, subsidized healthcare, subsidized insurance programs. We subsidize taxes until we're able to eliminate income tax for anyone who is not a business owner. We have to stop taxing poor, and we have to stop taxing poverty and taxing death. We have very decrepit taxes. We have to find ways to cut all the loopholes, simplify our tax code. But the universal basic income, we believe, should be at $5,000 a month. And that entrepreneur should be anyone who receives that capital as seed capital. We're working with, and we've made contact already with, the Cisco Entrepreneurial Institute and those who want to fix the grand challenges, and the people at DePaul University with the Asset-Based Community Development Program. And we're made contact with B Alliance, with the Black Economic Alliance, and we're making contact with more organizations that want to produce change and use this moment in the presidential candidacy in backing Andrew Yang for the Democratic nominee to make sure that we have a post-Yang discussion if it possibly happens. And we're creating it now, working with all the mayors of all the towns and all the cities and ready to export this worldwide. We're using social innovation and inclusive civic participation to say, could it be that universal basic income could be the spark to create economies of scale and allow everyone to ink themselves, create more prosperity for themselves. And we want to be able to show how this can be done through asset-based community development, working with all stakeholders to produce good in society, and using corporations as a way to sponsor corporate social responsibility programs where we all can grow in a 21st century. Yes, it's going to be a form of training. Yes, Jawad Hashim Hakimi, U.S. presidential candidate, has more to say. And I'm going to keep creating content. I ask you to watch, subscribe, share. I thank you. And I say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. I just want you to be happy. Isn't that what we all want?